Hello everybody. Today I'm going to do a quick toolbox tour slash shed tour and show you what I got going on here and what I work with. So in the cart, this is basically all the nuts and bolts and screws, and underneath all these little trays I have all these little extra stuff. So most of the stuff is doubles from what's on the top, but like this one has all the bolts and stuff down on the bottom. I also have my oils, CA glue, contact cement, stuff like that here. My mask, a couple pry bars, some long snap-on screwdrivers. Down here, go into the drawers, icon, picks, some measuring tools from Temu, some Milwaukee bits. And here I have the hold downs for my saw table, bench dogs, stuff like that, clamps. These things I bought off of Temu, they looked a lot bigger on Temu. These things are tiny. I don't know what I'm going to use those for. Over here I have my pocket hole jig, as well as the screws for the pocket holes. In here I have basically all my sharpening stuff for my chisels, straight jig, and Tormek, the bar for the buck tools, Cat Moses sharpening jig. This is the little adapter that I made that goes on to here so I can use the Tormek chewing tool. Some erasers, sharpening stones, a couple extra blades. This is for the plane that I'm fixing up. I gotta see if I can do anything with those blades. Not really sure about that right now. It looks like it's gonna be a hard task. And here I have some wire wheels, some brushes, blades. Those are the nails for the nail gun. Hand sander from Miles Craft tightening grips. These are good for when you're gluing and you want to stand something up. You can put it on there and it won't touch it. Actually, it's gluing, and then you can use it for like when you're staining. Down here I have all my chemicals, as well as my circular saw. On the side here I have a magnetic tray, standard sockets. Most of my stuff in my toolbox is metrics, but I have a couple standards over here. Every once in a while you run into that. I love this bolt selector. That bolt selector is amazing. When you're running with all these doggone bolts and you're trying to find something, it works really good. On the back I have just a hyper tough knee mat. All right, and then over here, this is my multi-purpose table. So basically on this table I have the grinder from Skill. I shouldn't say grinder, it's more a sandpaper, but I use it for grinding. I also have a Skill bench press that I only use for wood. I do have a Skill router table down there. I have the newly acquired Buck Tools water grinder, slow speed, and then I have a bench grinder up top, Craftsman's old school Craftsman bench grinder. Now this table, when I designed it to have storage, but I also designed it so that every unit on here can go onto this top and bolt down. So this can be bolted down, the bench grinder, the water grinder down here can be bolted down up here, as well as everything that's on here. The router table fits perfectly on the top here and bolts down. That's what the outside bolts are for. So everything bolts down onto this table so I can use it, you know, for whatever I need it for, and I can put the other stuff underneath in storage or where it goes. All right, on this side I have all my measuring stuff as well as my saw stuff. So over here, Milwaukee measuring tapes. The rulers are by Woodpecker. Some Milwaukee right angles. The edge guide by Woodpecker. That's actually pretty good for when you're doing edges. You can go right on the edge and measure it out, and then mark it on both ends because of the way it's actually set up. It's got a little stop on the end there, and then you can put it on the board or on the wood. I'll show you. You put it on the wood like that, and then you can mark the sides, so here to here. So that actually works pretty good. What I also like about the woodpecker ruler is that this ruler, you can buy this little piece and now it'll automatically self right angle, and then you can put that on any of those that you need it on. I keep it on the big one because that's the one I use it the most for. Saws, I have right tool, so you can see that. Those are the ones I bought. I just had started with saws, and these are working pretty good for me. I haven't had to change them. I think I changed one of them, and when I changed it, I upgraded it to Suzanne saw. So this saw is actually really nice, and then I'll do that with all of them. Once the blades break, I'll just upgrade them and get a new one. This one's a flush trim saw, hardwood, softwood. This I found in a yard sale. That dovetail saw. That's a nice dovetail saw. All right, woodpecker square, and then a couple more adjustable squares. I love these 1, 2, 3 blocks. They work great. Some more measuring tools, coping saw. Over here we have my Milwaukee tools, impact driver, drill, another impact driver. Now this bad boy here, I have version 1 and version 2. This is the version 1. The version 2 I keep in the house. I should say in the house, in the car. I love the version 2. That thing has got so much power. All right, over here, let's go to the toolbox. Got a Mac tool bag, Mac tools hat, some Mac gloves, the Mac knife. These are snap-on flashlights. And then I have my slew of Icon flashlights up there. Wilton hammer, some generic stuff, generic hammers, and a lot of gear wrench. Most of this is gear wrench or Mac, and a couple Craftsman. These green are Craftsman. Over here we have the Mac flex head, long flex head, Mac pry bars, Mac flex heads here. Then I have the gear wrench set, 90 tooth. This is like my favorite ratchet. These are all Craftsman. Pretty much most of them are Craftsman, and then most of the other stuff is gear wrench or Mac. So these are Mac, and then pretty much everything else is gear wrench. These Mac ones here, Expert, and then these are generic. I didn't know if I was going to use them a lot. I actually like them, but as you can see, they're generic. They're breaking. You know, a couple of the magnets have come off already. So, you know, when I decide, I'll upgrade that. But for the most part, they're doing their job. I don't really need to upgrade them. All right, and let's go into the toolbox real quick. Okay, these are all gear wrench pretty much, with the exception of this and these. Everything else is gear wrench. It's my actual favorite set. I love the gear wrench ratchets. These are actually amazing for working on cars. Okay, then I have my extra ratchets, some breaker bars, mirror. Actually, this is a mirror that people might not know about, but you can adjust it. So if you're looking for something in a car, you can actually adjust it. So it's actually pretty cool. Mac tire gauge, great pry tool right here. And this is a great pry tool for interior trim work on cars. Extensions. For the most part, all of the stuff you would need to work on a car is in this drawer. All right. Over here, Mac screwdrivers, Mac pliers, Pittsburgh punches. I don't use these at all. That's why I got them just to see if I would use them. I'm not using them, so it doesn't matter. Adjustable wrenches are by SK. This is like the new version of SK, the cheaper stuff. I don't use these that often, so I don't really need a ridiculously good one. These are all Mac. This is Snap-on. The snippers, these are Snap-on. These are my favorite cutters by SK. These actually cut through damn near anything. Then I have my Mac pliers, vice grips. This is a OEM oil filter wrench. Next drawer down. This is gear wrench. This actually is a random, I think this is a Snap-on or a Blue Point. Snap-on 50. I just leave it in here. But for the most part, that's the full set there. This is Mac tools, very good to get in tight spaces. This kit I bought on Amazon, and it is amazing for the Hondas had recalls for seat weight sensors, and this kit is amazing to get in there to get the seat weight sensor out. To get the bolts at the seat weight sensor, you need these e-torques, and it's amazing. Some more bits, and this, I don't really use this kit much, but this is an impact screwdriver, basically, for brakes. And then these are my favorite bits. Mac set, and this is from K.A.C. I bought it off my Mac truck though, so they're warranted. But when I tell you that these bits, between these two groups of bits, they're absolutely amazing. I got to warranty this one out. This one broke. My fault though, you know, which is normally what it is. I went a little too fast and I snapped it, but it's warranted, so gotta take it back and get it warranted. But I love those bits. Between those two bit cases, wood, metal, doesn't matter. I go through everything with those. Next drawer, power drawer. All right, I'll start from here. There's a Milwaukee 3/8 inch ratchet, right angle, impact driver, Craftsman nail gun, Craftsman multi-tool, Milwaukee grinder, Skill mini hand saw. That skill saw is actually pretty good. Craftsman palm router. That is a Amazon heat gun, which uses Milwaukee batteries, which is really good. Craftsman router, Craftsman jigsaw, Milwaukee mid-torque impact. What do you got here? Glue gun, and down there is another Skill driver. I don't really use the Skill. I have the drivers. I have this drill up here. That's the one I use. That Skill one just came in a kit, so I have it. Two saws. One's a one-handed, the other one's a two-handed. Saws are basically, one's by Craftsman, one's by Skill. They both work. I don't really use them that often, so I don't need it for anything crazy. Down here is a lot of miscellaneous stuff: nuts, bolts, sandpaper, just miscellaneous tools, kits and stuff. All right, over here got my files, my shop sign, got my files, sandpaper. I love that right angle. Never use it. It's merely a decorative piece right now, but I don't use it. Forstner bit set. This is a great plane that I started working on to basically fix it up. It was old, dingy, flattened the bottom out on it. Had a little damage here. I mean, I don't think I'm going to be able to get it 100% working, but I'll use it for decoration, if anything. But I like it. This is my first one that I'm trying to do. I have to sharpen the blades and everything on it, which is why I have this stuff out, because that's what I'm gonna do next after I finish this video. Leather strap, more planes. This is a number 5 Stanley. That is a Stanley Sweetheart low angle plane. Those are my two planes that I use the most. This plane is what I use for my shooting board. I'm gonna switch it to this one. I just have to tune it for it. But this is the one I've been using for my shooting board to get those angles. I got my chisels here, Buck Tools. I don't know how I feel about these. They're okay. They work. I don't really like those handles though, so I think I'm gonna change them. I just gotta find something I like. But they're not bad. I just don't really like these handles too much. They're my first set, so you know, they did the job. They work. Some more measuring tools, a hammer, some more measuring tools, router bits. Up here there's a right angle there, over there. And then up here I have my charging station for all the stuff that all my batteries. And my batteries are actually down here. And then over here I have all of my clamps. And then right here, I don't know if you can see this, I have my shooting board. So over here, when you lift that up, the shooting board actually goes right under here. And then I can close this up and put that down, and I can move this table. This whole table moves. So this big table for my saw, it actually moves out, so I can take it out of my shed and work outside in the yard. Have the vise here, bench dogs. I have track all the way around, basically, so I can get to everything. These are bench dog holes, but they're bigger than bench dogs. I use these for my clamps. I have some clamps that I put through the table, so when I need to hold stuff down, I can hold it with the clamps there. And then under the table, I have my vacuum cleaner, another drill press. That drill press is the drill press I use for metal. I have a router down there, chop saw down there. So I have a few things. I have the vacuum. Now that vacuum I have set up over here. So I have the little switch. I can literally flip this switch and it'll turn the vacuum on and off. So when I'm using the vacuum inside the shed, it'll actually, it's fully functional. I just take the hose basically out from here. And then when I go out to use the table saw, I run that hose back to the table saw underneath here and I clamp it down, and then I run it on the table saw. So that's basically how I have that set up. And then the last thing over here, I have where I keep all my wood. So this is basically where all my wood is kept. In here, I don't have a lot. I also keep my jigs here. So I have a jig for the saw, for a table saw. Oh, not a table saw, this is the circular saw jigs. Both of them the circular saw jigs. This is the jig for when you're doing angles for your chisels or your blades, your plain blades. You have your angles there. This right here is actually for the drill press. I can put the wood on here. I put a piece of wood in here, put the wood down, and I can drill into it, and it has disposable wood, so I can just take that slot wood out and put a new one in, and then it helps with tear out in the back. These are the little cut off pieces that I have, and then this big one that I have here, this one is what I use to hand saw. So you hand saw here. This has a magnet in it underneath this little cap. There's magnets in there, so the hand saw will stick to it, and then you can basically saw with it. And that is about it. Thank you. Take care.